Good evening. Eventually, welcome back to episode 22 of the Midweek Mixup podcast. It has been a while. Hope everyone is well and had a nice Christmas and winter break. It's good to see everybody back again. I'm rocking the dual monitor here, so I'm kind of getting used to seeing two different things at the same time.
Humble brag.
Yeah. But we will get straight into it. So today we have one of the big fans of the podcast on as special guest, Hertog Vin.
Hello,
We'll
guys.
start off with our guest. How are you doing today, brother? What you've been up to? What you've been playing?
I'm really good. I've been playing the medium the last couple of days, and Sea of Thieves with Erwin and and Emil, Peer Plug. And yeah, that's about it. A little bit of PUBG, but that wasn't going so well. So I think I'm gonna take a break from that for a while. Call of Duty is going.
You miss me, right?
Yeah, we miss you, Sensei. It's going really beep, you know. So I don't know what happened since I got Series X. It's terrible, man.
It's the 60 frames locked. That's the thing.
I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't matter what gear I have, what weapons I got. It's like whatever weapon they use, it's one shot, I'm gone. So I don't know.
If you stop putting pineapple on pizza, the problem will fix itself.
No, you have to try it.
I tried it many times.
No. We challenge you. You have to accept it, Archie. Jay and I demand you to do it.
We're getting there.
Yeah. But how is I noticed though you do play Sea of Thieves quite a bit. Obviously we haven't quite touched on that game for quite a while. I noticed Erwin jumped on it again the other day with yourself. But you play Sea of Thieves quite a lot. So how is the new update to that? I've seen obviously they've added kind of 120 frame support as well as a new seasons mode, which is kind of just adding extra content to it. So how is the game for you now then? I know you've played quite a bit on Sea of Thieves, so the game for you, how is it? Yeah,
perfect. This new update was the first one I played on Series X since I got it, and it's perfect. The visuals are so good, the frames are good, the loading times are better. I cannot take a coffee break when I started off. Normally I start the game and then go get some coffee, but that's not possible anymore because it loads right away. But it's so good.
Terrible.
So I'm now on a new mission to get Erwin and Emil Legend, but Erwin already left.
Was it not for you, Erwin?
No, I actually kind of like playing with Finn and with Captain Martin, and because you know I don't have a clue what I'm doing in that game. All those bloody maps.
That's why he's called Captain Clueless.
And exactly, that should be my name actually. But you know, I like the game how it looks, and it's really funny to play with your friends, right? And that makes it really funny as well, and they can help us through because they are legends. And I played. I'm like level 22 or 23, something like that. So I still need to do a lot, and I didn't play it for like 1.5 years or something like that. Yeah. And also, you know, when the new seasons is there, I don't know what the new season does. So I'm kind of lost. But you know, playing with Emil, with Perepluk, and with Finn and Martin was really nice. So probably I'm gonna do it some more in the future. But I didn't play it.
Pure cosmetics. The season thing is pure cosmetics.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Well, it's all right. And I'm guessing the more you do, the more you levels up. Instead of spending your gold on cosmetics, you earn them instead. And
they added a lot of stuff like deeds and things, so it's more rewarding to play because you have this constant flow of deeds coming in. So
awesome.
Someone is itching you, Erwin.
No, I'm itching the cat of Shomberlon.
Where's the peanut butter, Chom?
Oh yeah. Oh, there he is.
So we'll get on to our regular panel then.
In the cars,
I said it was a cat.
It was
just a very small dog. She's wanting attention.
Here we go again.
Yeah, man.
I thought I saw a pudding kit. Yeah, I did saw a pudding kit.
Anyway, slightly back on topic. We'll start with the panel members next. So, Shomberlon, how are you doing, brother? What you been playing? What you been up to?
I'm good. I played quite a bit over the holiday period. She's showing off. Look at, so yeah, I am. Off you go. I streamed a fair bit. I start. You quite don't know. And in and out.
I'll stop.
I streamed a bit of I fully completed Splinter Cell Conviction and Blacklist. And then what else did I do? Where's my notes? I also streamed Deus Ex Mankind Divided, but I did it on permadeath. Which is basically you die, you lose your you lose your save slot.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit stressful. And I was watching. I got to the end, and the credits were rolling, and they had this little funky figure. So I decided to buy it as a little reward for completing it on
beating on the hardest
permadeath.
difficulty.
Yeah. There's a little reminder, and then about 45 minutes ago, an hour ago, something like that, I finished the medium, which is a really good game. Really good game.
Awesome game.
So,
awesome game. What did you make of the of the several? To be fair, as soon as you beat the first boss once, you think kind of that's it, but then you discover it's not.
Yeah.
What did you make of that kind of that main villain by Troy Baker and the acting that went along with it?
Oh, of the actual villain or the monster?
The monster, who is Troy Baker.
Oh, is that Troy Baker? I knew he was in it, but I didn't know he was the monster. I thought he was one of the characters.
That's the he's the monster.
He was a bastard. I hated him.
Yeah.
Stressed me out. Like, if you've got a decent headset, it's such a freaky game. Because you just hear whispers and you can hear him. Even there's parts of the game where he's about, but you don't ever engage him. But you don't know that you're not going to engage him. So you hear him whispering, you hear him saying stuff, and he's moving from this side to that side. And it creates a real tense atmosphere, which is what they were aiming for. It was never supposed to be a Resident Evil type game where you're slaying loads of demons or whatever. It's, like I said in the tin, it's a psychological horror.
But it's so much better than any of the previous games. Like I was not a fan of Layers of Fear, and that was kind of what they were trying to do in that as well.
Layers of Fear was a little bit broken for me. It just constantly hard crashed, so I never actually ever got to the end of the game because it just hard locked my system all the time. So I just gave up.
Fair enough. I think in this one, what I liked a little bit more was that you did have some kind of combat mechanics with the light and things like that. So even though you weren't effectively doing combat, as it were,
it was more of a defense than an attack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in certain scenarios, as you play through the game, that defense becomes an attack in ways.
But it's never kind of a finishing thing. Yeah, it's still you're using it as almost like a parry type system. I loved playing as the guy.
Yes, that was very good.
Walking through, you were just like hard, just like with those like slug-like things that go, and you just kind of like almost no, forget it,
carry them away.
And it does set it up for a sequel or possible DLC.
Yes,
without giving any spoilers away, but.
They've already advertised for their next game, which will include combat. So,
all right, okay. So it could be a completely new game, or it could be an evolution
of this. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. To be fair, I need to go back and mop up the achievements on it now because a couple of them are hidden, so I don't know what they are. when you try and figure out.
There's 3 that are hidden for me, and they're just basically collect everything of this in one playthrough, collect everything of that in a playthrough, and collect everything of another thing in a playthrough.
Yeah.
Right, it was the postcards, the letters from the the bad guy, Richard, yeah.
Yes.
And the letters from the I'm horrible with get names. The guy that you play as
Frank. No, Thomas.
So it's Thomas, Richard, and the postcards I need to do. I thought I got all the postcards.
So did I.
I thought I was quite thorough.
I think there's one area where I didn't get the postcards, and that was kind of broke up by the fact that the monster disturbed us, and I could see it sitting there on a bench, and I was like, how am I even meant to get that?
Yeah, I think there was one bit that I kind of went through that I thought I could go back and then couldn't.
Yeah. So we shall see, but love it.
I'll run through with a Macca's guide just to get them.
To get the rest. Yeah. I don't mind playing that again either, because it's a really good game. Love the story.
You can see the hidden achievements on True Achievements.
Yeah.
I'll try and figure out which ones I don't have.
Yeah. I do that most of the time. If I'm just a couple of missing, then I'm go to the True Achievements and then look them up.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then obviously the only achievement that I missed out on was not to get caught by the monster in the first playthrough at all.
At all?
At all. So I'm going to not get caught.
Is that... No, I don't think it's at all. There's a certain section where you can't get caught.
Is it? I thought it was...
Yeah, because... No. Because I got caught right at the beginning because I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
The first time you come across him.
That's the running part.
Yeah. Because the bit where you're running and you turn left and all of a sudden he appears in front of you and just charges you.
Yeah.
He got
all
me
the
then.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah. He got me then. So no, but there's a certain part where you have to get through without being caught.
Right. Okay. If it's that part, then I definitely failed at that multiple times. Because the first time I didn't even expect them to just pop up in front of us, and he just was like, oh. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, when he starts attacking you in the real world, I was like, can he actually? Yeah, he can get me. Yeah, no problem. It's just like...
He's just completely invisible in the cutscene. You're just floating in midair. But no, I can't wait to play more. Boxenberger, welcome back, brother. How have you been, and what you been playing?
What is up? It's great to be back. It's been too long since the band got back together here. And I've seen that full Archie pony already left the room.
He's busy with his DualSense controller.
Yes, I was definitely playing a lot with my PlayStation that arrived last week. I finished Spider-Man Miles Morales the other day. I finished Astro's Playroom, which I really enjoyed. I was surprised. I thought it was more of a gimmick or a demo or something, but it is a full game that is a true showcase for the new controller, which I really enjoyed. I also played a little bit of Days Gone in 60 FPS, and I booted up the Medium. I'm about 3 or 4 hours in now. I'm really enjoying that. It's when you boot up that game, it tells you to play it with headphones, and I really have to recommend that. Yeah, because it's really some of the best sound design I have heard in probably years, probably since Hellblade.
I was going to say I think that's the only game I can think of that can beat it sound design wise.
Yeah, Gears comes up, and maybe Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus was also a true showcase for Dolby Atmos, but definitely fantastic sound design, incredible game. Really enjoying that one. And I'm still trying to finish up Immortals Phoenix Rising. So yeah, been really busy on the gaming side.
Awesome. And obviously, eventually, you got your hand on the pony box. So,
yeah, I did.
How
took
is it?
MediaMarkt only 2.5 months to deliver that.
How many walls did you have to take out to get it in?
Yes, because it's nice, Archie.
I can tell you one thing. That thing is big. I was really surprised. When you have seen all the pictures and everything, you see that it's a big box. But if you have it next to the Xbox Series X, it really is big. But no, I'm really enjoying it. I'm pleasantly surprised by PlayStation. Didn't have any issues so far. No crashes, no noise, nothing. It runs really quiet. Probably my biggest complaint about the PlayStation 5 right now is the user interface. While it is really fast and it looks good, it's really nice designed. It is just not as well structured as the dashboard on the PlayStation 4. It's the simple things. I need like 10 clicks to turn the PlayStation off. Yeah, previously you could hold down the PlayStation button and just turn the damn thing off. Now you have to press PlayStation button, then click 10 times to the right, and then you can turn it off. So it's stuff like that.
You can walk to the console also, eh? You know that.
Oh, come on, I have to get up from my couch.
The easiest solution is just to not turn it on.
No.
Is there not something in the controller when you blow it, it goes out? Something like that.
Dude, I turned that off. That was one of the first things I did. I turned off the mic in the controller and also the speakers in the controller. I didn't like the speakers in the PlayStation 4. I don't like it in PlayStation 5. It's just weird to me when noise is coming out of the controller. But otherwise, the controller really is a highlight. I have to say that. While I still prefer the Xbox controller with the asymmetric sticks, that it just feels better to me in my hand, I really have to say this is the best PlayStation controller yet. They have it feels really well designed. It's heavy in the hand. I really like the triggers. Also in Spider-Man, that was really cool when you swing through the city and you feel the feedback coming through the triggers from your rope. That feels really good. I have to say they have done a good job with that.
Awesome. And obviously, you mentioned the basic games that you get on the Astrobot as well. How is Astrobot?
Yeah. Astrobot is cool. If you're into 3D platformers, that's definitely a great game. I really thought it was just a gimmicky demo, but it really is a fun game. If you like games like, well, it's probably not the level of a Mario, but it's a good 3D platformer. I really enjoyed it. Took me about like 5-6 hours to complete it. Didn't get a platinum. I'm not the trophy hunter, but it was a fun game, definitely.
Awesome stuff.
And it helped really to bridge that gap when you boot it up and you have to download the games, which takes forever with my slow internet. Yeah, so it gave me something to do. Yeah.
And are you going to be playing Destruction All Stars at all? I know it's been getting kind of great, should we say, hands-on reviews from PlayStation fans, not so much from critics.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. It's probably not my type of game. Maybe, I mean, since it's free with PS Plus, I'll probably check it out, but it's not my cup of tea. Yeah. What I'm downloading as we speak is God of War again. It got a patch the other day.
Good songs?
Bugsnax.
Yeah.
Bug snacks.
Bugsnax. No, not gonna. That is not touching my PS5. No, but besides playing around with the PlayStation 5, I really enjoyed the Medium, and I'm still playing Immortals on the Xbox. It's been good times since we are still in curfew here in Germany and full lockdown, working from home. Kids are home. Gaming really helps me to take the mind off the seriousness of everything that is going on right now. So, yeah,
nice.
It does help. It does help indeed. It does help. Next, Broyr, welcome back, brother. Nice to have you back as well. How's everything going on your end? What you been up to? What you been playing?
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm doing really well, but really busy. I got a ton of going on work, and in the meanwhile, I've done some new decoration in house. So my office is my in-house office is really feeling a lot better than it was before. Did some improvements. I got a standing desk right now, so that's the best improvement I can recommend to everyone. If you have the opportunity, just it's especially for me working from home already 10 months. Yeah, this is really good. And kids, everyone is doing well, especially in these times. Everyone is healthy, so knock it off.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's going really well. And on the gaming part, it's been a little bit one-sided only. I've only been playing one game. That's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
I'm really loving it. Yeah, it's a really cool game. I'm doing all those challenges in there. Almost, I'm almost at level 200 now. So prestige level 6 coming up. So it's really going good. It's fun. We're having a blast with the guys that we're rolling with, and we're doing good. So yeah.
What's the kill death ratio that you have, Broyr?
In multiplayer, it's 1.0. Exactly 1.0.
Exactly one.
What's
Yeah.
yours, Erwin? What's yours, Erwin?
1.81.
No. I hate
No,
you raging.
you're-
That can be possible.
I'm gonna check it right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I believe it was 1.81 the last time I played, or somewhere in the 1.70 or something like that.
Leaderboards, multiplayer, courier.
Do you believe that, Pat?
Before it was 1.
I don't know.
And I believe the last time I checked, it was 1.81, or the last time matches, I don't know, but it's quite
What the
high.
hell? 1.56.
Oh, 1.5, yeah,
That's
bad.
no, that's really good. I
Yeah,
got
but then I
1.0.
dropped. Yeah,
That's for an old man.
that's different. Cook,
Jeez.
Vin. That's different.
Different cook.
Is it there for the gladiolus?
That of the gladiolus. No, it's. I believe it was a little bit higher, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Nice.
On
That's
Modern
really
Warfare
good.
3, on Modern Warfare 2, I was 2.69, so I dropped down a little bit when I got older. So
Yeah, I've got. No, I see
No
there
excuses.
is a bit of a difference in the amount of games played.
yeah, there is, but still, it's relatively okay.
That's really good. Nice. Yeah, I'm struggling to get. I'm still waiting for the 15 kill streak. I
Yeah,
always die at 14. It's so hateful.
That's
I just
hard,
need
but
one more.
even to get 4 or 5 kills in a row is quite difficult. If you're not in a good team, there's always somebody behind you or from the sides that's popping up. So it's quite frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm this week I've been doing.
Are you blaming us
nothing
now,
but,
Erwin?
Yeah, because you're shooting blanks.
My kill dead is now actually going down. I'm only using knives right now, just running around with the eggs and the knives. It's so annoying. So good. But yeah, so yeah, it's that's my cup of tea. And to be fair, since we had the podcast today, I was thinking, okay, I need to say something that I've been playing as well. So I looked into Game Pass and thought, okay, what could be a game to quickly start up? And I started up Super Hot Mind Control. I love that game. I love
It's really good, isn't it?
It's really good. It's really
Oh,
good.
super hot. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I played it as well.
I played the first part, and now it's the second. I don't know if it's a new game or an expansion, but yeah, it's a really cool game. So I've been playing that a couple of hours these days, but most of the time just Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's to be fair. If it's something you like, why not? Just keep playing it. See,
Absolutely.
Some games just get drawn to all the time, and again, when big games like that come out, sometimes it's just that's all you want to play.
Yeah,
When Forza Horizon first came out, that was literally all I played for a very long time, and then it was like, right, I think I've done everything. I need to try and change it up a bit and play a few more games. So yeah, no, that's awesome. So Erwin, welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
Thanks.
What you been up to? What you been playing?
Good to be back, man. I already had my laugh kick just a couple minutes ago, so that's great. Been a while, but no, it's good to be back, guys. Really, and good to see the people in the chat as well. That's really nice to see. Here, I got a putty cat. See, but no, I've been playing quite a lot of games. I played Assetto Corsa Competizione quite a lot, because there's also a new track added to the game, Imola. Track in Italy, really nice flow. Tuning a little bit, and also with a buddy of mine on Twitter, we're attending the Wheel User United on Forza Championship. And he became first place, and I became second in that championship. And now we're racing a little bit on time trials. To get on Assetto Corsa, we are pushing each other already, but good to see we are fast and close to each other. So that's really nice. I played some Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on Game Pass. I absolutely love it. Also the enhancement that they did at 60 frames per second. And first a couple months or a couple years back, I thought that 60 frames, was just some hype or whatever. But man, when you play those games at 60 frames per second, I cannot go back to 30, to be honest.
Yep.
It's a bloody slideshow. And I noticed my eyes are really, I didn't know that so much, but I feel the more 60 frames per second games I play, the more my eyes get used to it or something like that. So if you turn back to 30 frames per second, it's quite a big change. So Star Wars is really nice, but I need to continue with that. I also bought Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Looks absolutely fantastic on the Series X. Runs also really great at 60 frames per second. The story so far is really good. I like the shooting, the stealth. I still need to co-op with Pachu. And with Steve, but man, I like the game a lot. Left me a really good impression. And not so much PUBG. Sea of Thieves, and of course Call of Duty Cold War. I finally bought a Call of Duty again, and I have no regrets this time. I love it. It makes me aggressive at times again.
We know this.
And that's really one game that really flipped my shit. Call of Duty. I always get really aggressive, and that's mainly due to the snipers in the game. That's quick scoping, and if you watch back the replay, they shoot like 1 centimeter next to you.
They are shooting a sniper
crazy.
like they are shooting an Uzi.
Yes, man. And sometimes they hit, then there's no problem. But if they, let's say, miss, then I get super frustrating. But that's the way it is. And but I am enjoying a lot. I'm really happy with my Series X. It plays really good, and it's a lot of fun, man. The quick resume, the loading, the whole experience on the Series X so far has been truly amazing. I installed my One X again, the Scorpio edition, for my son, and just installed it and start up some games, and I was really like, fuck, that's really slow. So Pluk, if you're in the chat again, man, with your one slow, just get a Series X, man. And it's really nice to have Finn on the show. It's finally to have somebody on the show that's talking the really Van Gaal language. So good to have you on, mate.
I'm happy to be here, mate. It's really fun. I like it.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Really nice.
Awesome stuff. And last but not least, Patju, welcome back, brother. Welcome back. How are you?
Yeah, man.
What you been up to?
Well, I'm doing actually pretty good, man. Yeah, I'm super happy to be back to you guys. Also was looking forward to the guys in the chat, of course. Want to welcome everybody back. And yeah, I've been playing a lot of games as well. It started with Call of Duty Cold War. Man, I'm so happy with this game. Like Erwin says, it's been a while since I've played a Call of Duty game, but this brings me back like to Black Ops 1.
Yeah,
like that feeling, and it's really awesome. Also been playing some Medium. I'm not finished yet, need to continue the story, but the game is really impressive. I really like it. Got some little jump scares as well.
Oh, that bathroom scene.
Oh,
Yeah, the bathroom.
yeah. It's freaking crazy. I got goosebumps, like it's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to continue that. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Marion gave me Ghost Recon Breakpoint just out of nowhere. Thank you again for that, Marion. But that game is really awesome. Enjoying that as well. Put it on some streams, and
It's a me.
yeah.
It's a me, Marion.
And also Xbox Mike, who's in the chat, he recommended me to play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. First of all, I wasn't a big fan of it, but since I started playing it, yeah, it's a really good game. So, yep.
What difficulty are you playing on?
Normal.
Just the recommended one. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Why, Arch?
No, because I really enjoyed the combat, so I turned it up to, I think it was Jedi Grandmaster Jedi or something, and it was really so much fun to beat that on that difficulty, because it gave you this satisfying Dark Souls feeling, yeah, when you finally beat the bosses, and so yeah.
Awesome stuff. It's I love the game, to be fair. I played it quite a few times. Beat it pretty much the same time it came out, but I want to see kind of an expansion on that. The one thing I didn't, obviously being a Star Wars fan, the one thing I didn't like was the fact that it was just wearing a poncho the entire time. And
different coloured ponchos.
Different coloured ponchos. I was like, you could at least give him like Jedi garbs or something to put on. But if one little niggly thing, if that and kind of sometimes just traversal, you go back and forwards on the same levels or same planets quite a bit. Maybe expand on that. I would love for them to do that. I don't know whether or not they will.
The map sucks as well.
Yeah, the map doesn't really kind of explain where you need to go at any point. Other than that, love the story in the game. The gameplay itself was awesome. The story was good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that kind of expanded a bit more.
It looks really nice. Huh? I like the graphical style as well. It's really AAA level shit. It's really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely agree on that. Completely agree. We shall get on to our main topics for this evening then. So before we start, we will run through kind of some of the basic news that's come out over the recent, should we say recent weeks, days. We'll start with days. We'll not go back all from kind of the beginning before we kind of went back into the podcast. So industry news roundup. We have obviously the kind of head of the initiative, the studio head of initiative, has left due to personal reasons. Of course, that was kind of taken out of context initially by some fanboys, but they withdrew those comments afterwards. Thankfully, they deleted those comments quite sharpish when they found out the reasons why he was withdrawing from the initiative.
Okay.
Of course, all the best to him and whatever he starts doing in the future. It's obviously not going to be an easy thing trying to run the studio from scratch for 2 years, lose kind of a very close relative in his brother, and obviously maintain a family life all at the same time. So, yeah, so fingers crossed, of course, everything picks up for himself, and his next career move is awesome, just as he's done with the startup for the initiative. Obviously, he's got an absolute wealth of talent on board for that studio now. We know what the project is. They've got an abundance of even greater talent underneath himself to kind of carry on the mantle. So I've got no qualms with that going ahead perfectly fine. So that should be good.
Who is saying something? What do you say, Steve? Sorry, Steve. Hey, but isn't it the second person that's leaving? I remember a dude coming from Sony as well that left after a couple months or maybe a year, something like that.
Oh, that was I think he was just on a contract basis. I think he just his contract ran out there. But the studio head, I think, is just the main one. But the first guy was just the studio. I think he was just an artist or something like that, or something like storyboard. And he was like, "Oh no, my contract's just finished. So I'm leaving."
Well, that was the 343.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but I
okay.
thought one dude left because he wanted to work closer to home or some crazy story like that.
Yeah, I think that was from 343 Industries. Some contractor.
Oh yeah.
No. This is not the one.
He was working on Halo.
Also that happened, but also this dude from there was one person already longer ago. I believe a year or something like that. He joined the initiative and left quite early as well. And I believe he was coming from Sony, I think.
Right. Well, again, if it's personal reasons, there's nothing against them. It's not like they're falling out with the studio or anything bad, or it's like it's just not working out or anything like that. If it's for personal reasons, it's for personal reasons. I mean, there's a lot of other people do it in other industries where the job might be absolutely amazing, but for your own personal reasons, you need to go, or you need to go somewhere else or something like that. It happens. It happens.
I recently learned that in across Europe, across all companies, you have about a turnover in your staff of 5% per year. So from 100 people in your company, 5 leave every year, just for various reasons, maybe career reasons, private reasons, whatever. It just happens.
Let's take the magnifying glass for the studio that has the most attention from everyone in the gaming industry, and let's blow it up.
Indeed.
It's to be expected, to be honest. To be expected. It happens all the time, and unfortunately, it's just what people have to deal with. But like I say, the vast majority of people didn't really comment on it. It was just a couple of individuals that kind of tried to put a kind of fanboy slanted spin, but they got shot down quite quickly. So
usual trash.
Yeah. Second bit of news, of course, we don't normally go into facts and figures and finances and things like that, but of course, the good news to come out of the Microsoft earnings call is that we have another large jump in kind of figures and performance for Xbox, which kind of proves again that the platform itself is going nowhere anytime soon. We're talking about nearly 40%. Is it 40% growth, 51% or something in general for kind of Xbox Live as a whole. We're talking another 3 million plus subscribers to Game Pass. So that's 18 million as it stands so far. So all in all, Xbox itself is in a very healthy position going forwards. No real kind of detriment that come off the back of that. Whatever they're doing is certainly working. They have, of course, and Lisa Su from AMD has also kind of said, we're not expecting, which is going to be one of our other topics as well tonight, more of an in-depth topic, but we're not expecting kind of replenishments of systems to be kind of too forthcoming until the latter part of the year. But even with that in mind, to see the growth and the sales performance so far, of course, it's positive on all fronts. We've seen very similar things reported from Sony as well, where the 4.2 million units or something sold so far for the PlayStation. But they are selling at a loss. I think that losses, from what I've seen anyway, figures-wise, is about $40 per unit, which is quite significant. But apparently that's part of their strategy is to sell at a loss. So,
but Series X is not any different, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you always have a loss when a new generation starts. So
yeah,
they know they will take the money on the software, right?
Nintendo doesn't.
And they raised the price on software as well with $10. So,
yeah,
indeed,
yeah, exactly. Like Vin said, they're the only company that doesn't is Nintendo. They're like, no, you pay full price for a game for its entirety of its lifespan.
Yeah.
No long how it can be out 10 years. You're still paying full price. We don't care.
My kids have the Switch, and the games are like 4 years, I think now. You have Nintendo Switch, 4 years? Always €59. Always.
Yep. Yes. Yep. No different.
Yeah. only chance to get games cheaper is in sales, but a regular price drop, forget it.
It's always third-party games, never Nintendo's own games. And if they're cheaper, it's like €5 or €10 maybe max, and that's it.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
But they sold like 80 million units. I read last week.
God, yeah, they're absolutely flying through them now.
Yeah.
Absolutely flying.
Yeah. 80 million.
That's some really crazy numbers. I think that this is the only console that has really a chance to dethrone the PS2 as the king of consoles, right?
No.
Oh,
How
100%.
much did it sell then? The PS2.
Was it not something like 150 million in its lifespan?
Something like that, 150, 160, something like that, but over its entire lifetime. And I don't know what the sales number were after 4 years. Yeah, so, but the Switch is definitely on a good trajectory here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's really a lot.
And it's only been out. Yeah, it's not even halfway through its lifespan, I don't think yet.
No,
Yeah.
and PS4 is now at 117 or something like that.
Yeah.
170 million, also really good numbers. But if the Switch is going to continue on this pace, then it's going to outpace it really quick. Man, that's unbelievable. Holy shit.
Judging by this, the total PlayStation lifespan figures was 153 million.
Yeah.
So
And they didn't have a drop on hardware price as well, right? The Switch also
Nope.
stuck to the same.
no.
Oh,
Same price.
why would you? If you're selling like hotcakes, come on.
It's been $2.99 for 4 years now. So.
And before we get into the kind of main topics, the last 2 bits of gaming news recently, of course, is we had this is Bourne, who's on Twitch watching the show. Penguin Bourne is obviously the EA conference call as well. Obviously, their investor call, stating that the Battlefield 6 is coming holiday this year. Of course, it will be next gen only and on PC.
Yeah.
And more than 35 games from EA are in development currently. Plan on continuing the Star Wars franchise that they have, despite exclusivity deal being up. So Fallen Order 2 is a possibility. Squadron's sequel as well is a possibility. They have 4 Star Wars games planned or something to that degree. So very well, essentially a lot going on at EA. And obviously look forward to see what Battlefield 6 is. Of course, they've said it's going to be their biggest game yet with more players than ever. So if it's only next gen as well, then we can be safe to assume if they manage to get 4K 60 out of Battlefield 5. And that was
they also another studio is making it for the last gen, right? For the previous gen.
And I think they said
Battlefield.
it will be next gen only.
Yeah, Battlefield 6 is this next gen only. Yeah.
And I mean,
okay.
I
thought I heard that. Well,
I'm really looking forward to see what they can squeeze out of the Frostbite engine when they only focus on next gen. That's really going to be interesting. It's a powerhouse engine.
Did you play Battlefield 5 on the Series X?
No, not on the Series X.
I haven't played it yet. No.
Played it. It's not normal, man. Really, it looks absolutely fabulous. It runs so good. The battles are already massive, right? 64 people or whatever. Yeah. So much chaos going on. No particular drops. The field of view is really huge. You can, it's crazy, man. How that game is already looking.
It's in Rotterdam.
Pretty optimized. And it's in Rotterdam as well. Yeah.
It's get blowing up there.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do to kind of push it, because at the moment it's already 4K 60 on next gen consoles. So with actual refinement and working specifically on those consoles, they should be able to push that game quite a bit more yet with that Frostbite engine.
Yes,
quite a bit more.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see more and stable frames, 6 frames per second on PS5, Archie? Or no?
Not going to comment on that. It'll be interesting to see where we are at the end of this year. After a year when the consoles are out, if we are still having that, let's call it the tool issue from Microsoft, it'll be interesting to see where we are next fall.
100%.
100%. And last but not least, one of the game unveilings that we all heard of, but it was kind of one of those worst kept secrets, was the Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered.
Yes.
Which of course comes out in only a matter of months now, which is good to see. Of course, I've seen kind of snippets of little bits of gameplay from on Twitter channels such as Shinobi, etc., which has posted them on. And it does look really good. Obviously, they've done a little bit more. I think Digital Foundry said they couldn't really see other than the basics, what differences they made. But I could definitely see higher quality textures, a little bit more detail in kind of buildings and surrounding areas and things like that. So I can see that. I don't know what he was looking at, but from what I can see, it was definitely an improvement especially on side by sides. You can see more detail. There was one with the car, and there was obviously the car was just in the middle of this bridge.
Yes.
And on the first one, it was quite a flat surface, quite a flat building, the skybox. And on the other one, it was like rubble all over the floor. There was a lot more detail in the building, smoke coming out of it, things like that. So,
and lighting.
And the lighting and everything. I think that the thing is here to what you compare it against to. If you compare console version to console version now, there's actually quite a leap. I think that the gap becomes smaller if you compare the PC version on ultra high super duper settings. And the gap becomes obviously smaller. But yeah, for a remaster, I think they did quite a lot. Yeah, like you said, improved textures, improved lighting, better filtering, and 60 frames. For a remaster, not a remake, that's quite a lot.
And a shit ton of lens flare.
Yep, a lot of lens flare.
Yeah, I was surprised by that because that's typically a frostbite, a frostbite thing. Yeah, that you see a lot in frostbite games, but the Mass Effect games run in the Unreal Engine, so I was surprised to see that.
It looks.
And what about the baseball game? That was.
Does anybody
MLB
really care?
the show?
Yeah, the MLB the show, because I'm reading here. It's only a PlayStation game, and now it's also coming to the Xbox. So that's pretty interesting as well. So
it's just because the
Is that not like a licensing thing?
Yeah, basically the people that license it, is it MLB
Baseball,
basically said you need to make it multi-plat or you'll lose the license. Well,
yeah.
So it wasn't a case of Sony being nice, it's a case of they didn't have a choice.
It seems that the developers also announced it back in 2019 that it's going to be on more platforms. So
it was announced ages ago.
Yeah.
So this is what I can't understand is people getting so upset or celebrating. It's like it was announced years ago.
I know. It's been a while.
Exactly.
Who gives a shit in Europe about baseball anyway? I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it's a nice sport, but we FIFA, right? Come on.
True that. Does anybody know the rules of baseball in here?
Hit the rules around us.
Nope.
Hit the ball.
Hit the ball and run.
I've got a friend actually who is a referee on baseball. So
you have referees?
Is there a referee? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I sport. And actually, the Dutch are not so bad in baseball, to be honest. The next
is it baseball or softball? Because we also have softball, right?
Baseball.
Softball is baseball light, I think, really.
Yeah.
It's still like ultra competitive, but it's not the same as in like national leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I had that at school. That's the only thing I know about it.
and baseball is the World Series only played in America.
Yeah.
So they're the world champions every year.
But it's the same. It's the same with cricket, right? You support cricket, the English people.
No, you've got New Zealand,
cricket,
you've got Australia, you've got the West Indies, you've got Pakistan. Who are like, to be honest with you, they're there for like Pakistan, West Indies, things like that. That's more their national sport than the UK.
But do you know the rules, Steve?
Kind of.
You really?
I don't know like the intricate things. Although I did bowl out a Welsh international once.
Why? You had this Game Pass quest, last month for cricket in Game Pass. I didn't get it, man. I really didn't get it. I didn't get anything of it. There's like this three wooden bars and you have to hit the ball through it. I don't know.
Speaking of your Game Pass and your Microsoft Point things, whatever, in the rewards thing, up until the 15th, if you complete a quest, there's like 2,000 points up for grabs.
Really? Yeah, but it's the UK and Holland are different, man. Because you had last month you had 10k reward points for 10k achievement points,
Yeah.
right?
And
We
you're not-
didn't have that in Holland.
Oh.
That's
Even
because
on
we're
the- even on
better
the-
than you. Brexit.
Was that on the, obviously because the Game Pass app and the rewards app are two kind of
Yeah.
entirely different quests. On the rewards
I
app
think
on
it's
Xbox.
I think it's Brexit.
Honestly, I'd rather not have the Game Pass rewards
Why not?
because I'd rather still be in Europe. It's not fair trade-off.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson's like, but you get 10,000 points.
Yeah, but I'm almost at a Series S for my wife, you know. I want to buy my wife a Series S from the reward points. I'm almost there, so the 10k would have been welcome.
Yeah.
How many points do you need for that?
10,000 gamer score.
No, for the Series S, you need 260,000
Oh, right,
reward points.
260,000.
You see, my plan this generation is not to spend any of my points.
Why not?
Buy and build them up.
So I can buy a next-gen console next time for free.
Oh, yeah. That was my plan, but they have the stock problems with the scalper guys and stuff, so I went to Marketplace and got my Series 6.
That's a really good point. Like with the because Sony had their thingy recently today, didn't they? Their earnings call.
Yeah.
And they said that they'd sold like 4.5 million consoles. It's like, but how much of that is to scalpers? Same with Xbox. When they say about selling this much, it's like, well, it's costing you $40 a box.
But they didn't say sold, right? They told
No. They
shipped.
Well,
they shipped. So.
Yeah, but you got. I mean,
Shipped sold. I mean, come on.
Both Microsoft and Sony have pretty much said whatever they've shipped, they've sold.
Yes.
So you've kind of got to look at how much is going to scalpers, so they can say, well, we're selling this, but they're not really seeing the revenue from it.
No,
because most people I know, they're not willing to pay above the odds for it. Like I was looking at a PS5 on eBay, just checking it out, and it was like 200 quid with 3 days to go. So I kind of like, I'll watch it. Let's just see how it goes. Within half an hour, it jumped from 200 quid to 650 in one jump. And you know it's the guy just creating another account and bidding against himself just to pump it up.
I check regularly in the Netherlands on marketplace.nl, and it's like around 900 euros still. Huh? It's crazy the amount of money that they ask, and they get it also.
And for PS5.
I believe I saw a news article that scalpers made like 45 million or 50 million, like out of selling the consoles. It's crazy shit, man. They really
80 euro is my fault. So that, but it was worth it.
What I'd love to see is both Microsoft and Sony just keep hold of them and then suddenly flood the market. So that they've got all these PlayStations and Xboxes that they can't get rid of because you can get them at normal price.
Yeah.
I'd love to see somebody bankrupt from that because they're scumbags. Like I kind of get, if it's like 50 euros or 50 quid more than the asking price, fair enough. They're wanting double or triple for some of them.
Yeah, but even stores do it here, right? Because we have these big stores in Holland. They even charge 50 euros more now for the console.
We've got CEX. And they like when it first came out, they were giving you like 300 quid more than the asking price.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're half tempted to get one and then sell it straight on to them for like a 300 quid profit. Why not?
Yeah, but it's easy money. That's the thing. It's easy. Yeah. I know. I ordered 3 consoles, one for my nephew, one for me, and one just to be sure if the other ones didn't succeed. So in the end, I ended with 3, luckily enough. So I had 1 console left, and I just sold it for 100 euros more, 120, I believe. But, I could easily wait for that it was almost double the money, but I didn't want to screw anyone around, right? So I sold it to the guy that was living close by as well, and he was a fan. So I thought, okay, let's do it, just have fun with it, and they're going to ask crazy money about it. But some people just see business in it, and, it's comeback practices, but can you sometimes really blame them? I mean, people still buy it. Stop buying that if you don't like it, right? But
sorry.
Yeah,
I can see because of this there being like regulation created within governments of the EU or things like that against anti-scalping because it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
It really is ridiculous. I can't remember where I read it. I don't know which country it was in, but basically someone was saying they were all sold out before they went on sale. But the bots had
But what do you think could be the solution? Because I really want to know. Okay, first of all, I don't know how they really do it. I didn't. I'm not an expert at that, so I really don't know how they do it in the first place. But what could be the solution to solve this? Because
I think one of the biggest issues is the fact, because of COVID, that you can't go places to pick stuff up.
Sure, yeah.
So you could have it so that they just go, look, we're not shipping it. Sure. You can pre-order it and then we'll ship it to the store. You pick your store and then you pick it up in person, and it's one per person.
Yeah.
But you could have it tied to bank cards, accounts. Like with Microsoft, we were only able to get one at a time. We were only able to get one because it was linked to our account. I couldn't even get an S if I wanted to because I'd already pre-ordered X.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I couldn't get both.
Okay.
So whether it's a case of places like Game or MediaMart or whatever, is that you have to have an account, you have to have it logged to an address and a bank card, and you can only get one per thing. And the address and the bank card can't be duplicated.
No, but it shouldn't be so hard to fix this shit, man.
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
So, I mean, there's so much fuss going on. I cannot believe that not like Amazon or some other big site says, okay, now it's enough. Enough is enough. Now we're gonna really do something about it. I didn't see any really messages in the media yet about it, right? That they said, okay, we're gonna do now something different, that the scalpers doesn't have a chance. I think it's quite disappointing to see as well as customers to see this happening.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, they have to keep trying something different, but what that is, again, probably the address thing like Microsoft did, where you can only order one address at a time. But then are retailers going to be bothered to do that? As long as they're concerned, as long as it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they're getting the cash. I mean, you could have it that you've got like a 3 or 6 week cooldown period per address.
Yeah.
So if you still needed to get one, you can get one, but there's a time.
Wait.
That's good.
Yeah. We'll get on to the meat and potatoes of the episode now. So one of the first major topics we're talking about is Google Stadia. Google Stadia. So they've decided to close down their first-party studios, essentially not producing any of their own content, but paying second and third-party studios to kind of do the work for them, essentially kind of outsourcing all investment instead of kind of creating their own team or having to look after their own people or pay their own staff, etc., for creating games or having a time frame. Just relying on second and third party to create content for Stadia, whether that be exclusive or semi-exclusive. But either way, they're winding down their studios and essentially going in an entirely different direction. With that in mind, I'll put this to Archimedes first of all. With Stadia closing down the first-party studios, what kind of direction do you think they're logically going in? Are they going to close down it entirely, or are they not seeing the turnaround? I mean, we've seen the numbers of people playing on Stadia, and it's not something that's sustainable. Do you think going forward it's something that they can fix? Or
yeah, well, I've been thinking about this a lot. I mean, it doesn't come as a surprise that they go into that direction. Building up a first-party portfolio is really something where you have to invest a lot of time and money. And I don't think that Stadia or Google is willing to take the time to build that up. Their efforts were okay, but it didn't go in a direction where you hooked the hardcore gamers. The thing is that if you want to build a new platform and want to become a significant brand in the gaming industry, you have to first hook the hardcores. The casuals come in later. And Stadia tried it the other way around. They tried to go to the casuals and then hook the hardcore gamers. This just doesn't work that way. So that's why what you've been seeing with Microsoft, for instance, they've invested now billions and billions of dollars into growing their first-party portfolio because that's where they were lacking. Sony has been spending a lot of money and a lot of time into their first-party studios to build them up. Same goes, of course, for Nintendo. And Google, well, I don't think they will shut down immediately. It'll take a little while. I could see them going into the direction that they somehow, for instance, implement the Google Play Store and the Android games into the service somehow. Yeah, that you build a more casual gamer platform so that you can play your smartphone game later on the big screen in your living room or something like that. They go eventually into that direction. But to compete really in the hardcore gaming market, their effort is just not enough. I'm just happy that this happened before they bought up one or two of the beloved big studios, because that is what I'm really afraid of when we talk nowadays about all these acquisitions. We hear acquisition here, acquisition there. Everybody wants to buy out big studios, and we are almost talking about an acquisition war right now, and that's what I'm always afraid of. Is Google buys a big studio or a big publisher and then just decides to let them go and shut the whole division down, and those studios are ruined forever. This is what I'm really afraid of, and I'm just happy that this didn't happen here with Google, that they bailed out of the first party race before they ruined one of my beloved developers.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is another thing I've been reading, and it kind of goes in with what you're saying there, is the whole Tencent looking to buy large companies.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a look at that, the worrying thing in that kind of whole scenario is the fact that they're saying they're raising funds to purchase. Now, if they have to raise funds to purchase the studios in the first place, that doesn't put them in a good position to continue, which is something that worries me, because if they have to raise, companies like Microsoft don't have to raise 7.5 billion. They have that. They just have that as expenditure. They can just
got that down the couch.
Boom.
Yeah.
And we've already seen from the earnings call that they've already made that 3 times over in a quarter. So that's already paid for. Well, it hasn't paid for itself, but they've already earned that money back that they're spending on that.
I think there is a safeguard, though, with what Microsoft is currently going through with the Bethesda or the ZeniMax deal. Is it needs to be approved by EU and America.
That's one thing I kind of understand America. I'm not quite sure why the EU would be getting involved in it, though.
I think because they've got studios in Europe. So it comes under that. So I don't think Tencent can go out and just start dishing out the cash and buying up everything. There will be safeguards in place. That's the whole point of what is it? Not antitrust. I don't know why that came to my mind. Anyway, the anti-competitive laws. I think that's the whole point about it, which is why I don't think anybody really needs to worry about Microsoft buying everything up, because they legally can't. I think they can be selective. I think even I've heard rumors of Ubisoft like that as a potential.
Yeah,
but I don't think that would ever get passed through.
Yeah, Ubisoft has been in financial problems for years now. It's been many times that Ubisoft almost got sold to Vivendi, for instance. They were looking for a buyout, and every time the family of Yves Guillemot jumped in and bought more shares of the company to save them. But they are always a candidate for such a big buyout. That will eventually happen with someone.
Yeah. I mean, is it any different because they're publicly traded that you know anti-trading laws can't do anything because you're literally just buying stock? So Microsoft, in theory, could have a subsidiary company buy the stock of Ubisoft on their behalf, type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in
is Ubisoft doing that then?
No, it was more that Vivendi wanted a hostile takeover.
Yeah, it was more of a hostile takeover. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's I mean, that's the only thing with Tencent, like I say, specifically, is they have to raise other than, like I say, Microsoft or Sony or any of these much larger divisions like Google or Amazon who have that expenditure ready to go, and they can't just invest and not worry about it too much. If a company has to then raise funds first before
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
going to market,
it doesn't put me in good stead for continuous funding of the studio. I mean, I kind of hope that Microsoft doesn't buy any huge publishers.
Sega.
I don't understand the people's flipping infatuation with Sega.
Yeah, I'm a Sega fan.
I don't care. They don't have really any good games.
They're all involved.
People are living like 20 years ago when Sega was actually something.
Yes, after Dreamcast, man, it's
kind of like
Dreamcast was the best console ever made. So
I'm sorry, Drew. I'm just seeing your subscribers just disappear after saying that.
Dreamcast, I agree with Finn. Dreamcast is actually really nice.
Dreamcast was really good. Power Stone. I love Power Stone.
Yeah, Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah. 20 years ago, mate. 20
I know,
years ago.
I know. But
how old were you then? Were you still at school?
Yeah, I was.
There we go.
I'm 35. I'm 35 now, so.
But no, I mean,
I'm a lot younger than Erwin, but I'm pretty old now.
You look pretty old, though.
I mean, I wouldn't want Ubisoft to be bought by anyone. I think their games deserve to be on everybody's platform.
Yeah.
I'd be if PlayStation bought them, not that they could afford them, but if PlayStation bought them, I'd be upset. So, but I think, especially with now that they seem to be going in a new direction, now that guy with the sleazebag guy got sacked, who was behind like pretty much everything being an RPG open world Assassin's Creed Odyssey-esque game.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll start to see a variety rather than just one thing.
I mean, like you say, though, it's not to say that they don't have awesome games, because obviously Valhalla and Phoenix Rising, and they've both awesome games.
Watch Dogs and Rainbow Six is big. The Division was doing good. They publish a couple of great games, and I hope that they can remain independent. But since there has been so many times reports about those approaches from Vivendi of a hostile takeover, I think eventually someone will just pick them up, and I do hope that it's the right company. I don't want to see that in the hands of Tencent or even an Amazon. To be honest, they have yet to prove that they are in for the long haul in the gaming industry. And that's really what I'm so afraid of. That with all these buyouts, that some companies just see them as a short-term investment. Go in, go out, and then ruin great studios or developers or publishers, and that's just the danger of it.
I suppose that would be a caveat to my little rant just then, is that I'd rather Microsoft buy them than Vivendi, Tencent, Amazon, Google, where they'll lock them away, and those that are accustomed to having these on their platform just won't. Because to be honest, nobody wants to stream their games as a only option.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think xCloud will be great for some things, but everybody wants a console. Everybody wants a hardware to then, when they come home. I mean, even the Switch is a docking station to actually have it.
I'm not sure if everyone wants that. To be honest, I know so many gamers that are just some casual gamers that play 2 or 3 games a year. For them, to buy a console or a PC or whatever. It's just a huge investment, and to have that option on your fingertip to just play a game whenever you want. I think there are millions of potential customers out there.
Everybody outside China and Japan.
It also depends on which type of games, also, guys. I mean,
there's some games that I don't think I could probably play xCloud on. First-person shooters being.
Yeah, but you're still a hardcore gamer, yeah? You're just so invested in
there is. I get that there is a casual market, but I think there's probably a certain type of game for the casual market. Maybe I'm not, just because I'm not in that market, so maybe I don't understand. So yeah, maybe I'm just being short-sighted because I can only see from my point of view. But yeah, I mean, I can understand I've said it before on the podcast when I was in China. Just the mobile phone addiction in China is phenomenal. I don't think there's words I could use to put into place to accurately describe how addicted they are to their phones and things like Hearthstone and things like that. They're just constantly looking down. I mean, you're going to get in 20, 30 odd years, people are just going to have proper curvatures of the spine because they're constantly looking down at their phones.
You know those pictures when we started off as monkeys and then we turned up, walking like this.
Oh yeah, when he kind of goes woo woo woo.
Now we're going back to that.
Steve.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit like that, but instead of actually regressing in height. In fact, I actually saw a picture and it was like this certain age and kids were this tall, and then this certain age, this. Like in the Industrial Revolution, kids were a lot smaller, so this was their height. And then modern day, they were this height. And then in 30 years, they were back down here, but they hadn't shrunk. Their necks were just like that.
That's probably right.
Chiropractors are going to make a killing in the future.
What do you think then, Erwin, about about this whole Stadia kind of closing down the first party stuff?
I think it's too soon. They didn't give it really a chance because they're working on some games only a year or something like that, right? So I think they gave up too quick, but that's probably due to the numbers they saw at how many people using actually the service. It's such a niche market still, I think, to do it like this, and also that you should buy your games. Like the comparing. For example, we can play them on our PC, on our Xbox, on our xCloud. And this, if you want to use the service, you still need to buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for example, at full price. Well, you have this as an experience. Then I'd rather play it on my 55-inch with no input lag, etc., etc. But I think it's Anchor, by the way. But I think they gave up too soon. They really didn't give it a chance. So it's actually in my opinion, one of the biggest failures that Google had so far, because everything they touched turned into gold, actually. And this turned up to be really disappointing. So I only hope that the people that were involved in the studios find some new jobs. I saw that Xbox had like almost 500 people open for open positions at several teams in the US and in Canada. So let's hope the people will get back to work anytime soon now. But yeah, I think it's a weird strategy. To start up teams and etc. And then after a year, I mean, what the hell is a year in development time with a game? If you see the initial
planning.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So there must be something going on, really serious to stop such a big investment.
Do you think things might change though? Because Jeff Bezos has just stepped down, hasn't he? The CEO.
Yeah, but
so
Amazon, right?
Do you think that's one of the reasons why that whoever's incoming has gone like, no, can it?
Yeah, I don't know, Steve.
I think it has to be mainly down to just the amount of people actually using the service. I mean, if you're putting hundreds of millions of pounds into staff and studios and trying to build things up, but you're not even coming. I mean, they were literally giving away Stadia to people, and there still wasn't going anywhere. Like the subscriber count and the active users were just sitting absolutely flat.
Yeah.
So I think that has to be a major decision in them going, right, listen, we're not going to invest in it. We're going to continue providing the service so third parties can put their games on it. We'll potentially pay them some money to put that on the service, but that's not us having to pay wages. That's not us having to spend on R&D and technology and all of that. They don't need to. So
Go on, Erwin.
I think the tech behind it is great. I mean, they came really far, let's say, to the technical side of things. So I think that's really impressive. But like you said, if there's not many users using the service after a year or maybe a little bit more, then they see it as that's not a good investment to your shareholders as well. But then it's a really big decision to close down. It was 2 studios that they have that were big first.
Yeah, there was
first party.
one they bought and then one they set up with Jade. Is it Raymond or Redmond? Raymond. Yeah. But I kind of wonder whether they'll. Well, this is the thing I wasn't quite sure is whether they just shut down the ones that they had, but they still might be willing to buy pre-made studios. They could just right, we own you now. You just carry on doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I wasn't quite sure. So they could still be a threat in terms of what Microsoft is trying to achieve. Because I think Microsoft is just trying to blow everybody out the water. So it's just don't even bother trying because we're so far ahead.
Yes.
I think that the massive upper hand that Microsoft had over Stadia, and that was, again, Diablos kind of put a good point there, is a lot of people didn't want to invest in Stadia because for a subscription service, if you're a pro subscriber, you're paying for anyway, you then have to buy the games again on top of.
Yep.
With all of the other subscription services, whether that be NVIDIA or whether that be on xCloud, whatever games you have, you can play on the service, or whatever games they put on that service, you can play, and it isn't additional; it's just on that service.
Yes, and not if you paid in a monthly monthly fee for the service to use at like 15 or 20 euros or pounds, whatever, and then you can play those games. Then it's a really good deal. But if you have to pay for the service, like Xbox Live, and then still pay full price on Stadia, I mean, and also because of the internet only thing, right? It should be complementary, and that's why Xbox is in such a good position, because they have three platforms now. Like I said, it's xCloud, it's Xbox, and it's PC.
It would be the same. Xbox would have exactly the same problem if they did what Stadia did and said, right, you've got Xbox Game Pass, but to use xCloud, it's another 20 on top of that.
100%. Yes.
No.
But no, it just shows you how well laid out the plan from Microsoft was to first introduce a subscription like Game Pass, to have that 100+ games available, and then introduce the xCloud and merge them together. Now have this unified platform. It's just a well laid out plan.
Yeah, much more better laid out anyway. That Stadia kind of went for, and again, having that subscription and then having to buy every game at full price.
Yeah, the way Stadia is doing it is as if PlayStation or Xbox was to kind of go, right, you need to pay 15 quid a month to play the games you've bought.
Yeah.
And then if you stop paying it, then those games that you've paid full price for are locked. You can't use them anymore. And then they kind of ask the question that if Google does go, you know what, just shut it down. All those people that have paid full price for games, do they still have access, or is the server just completely off?
Good point.
And your hardcore PC gamers going, I ain't taking that risk. I'll just go to Steam or I'll go to GOG.
Who does take that risk? That is exactly the point.
Yes, exactly. Because it's all internet-based, it's all DRM-based or whatever, right? And if we have a disc version, we can play whenever we want. Not online then, maybe, if they shut down the server, but we can play the game. If they shut down a service like this, you're screwed.
Oh yeah.
Your investment is gone.
And that's exactly the thing. It's the same for Amazon and all the new players. Really, the gamers have to gain the trust that these companies and the platforms will exist for the years to come to invest that kind of money. Yeah, if you're only a subscription service, like Shomp said earlier, if you would have only a subscription for 10 or 15 bucks a month, then you know that when it's gone, and that's fine because you already got your money's worth. But if you really have to invest money into certain games and buy them, and then 6 months, 12 months later, the service is shut down, this is just it's just something nobody wants to do.
No. Well, that's one of the main reasons that as soon as I seen Stadia, I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. But then immediately after, when I seen you literally had to purchase all the games full price for something that wasn't there, like it was on something that didn't exist. So it wasn't a console you owned on a service you have no control over. What? Then what? It's a digital library you can't access if the service shuts down. If I've got it on a console, that even if it's a digital, unless it's a DRM game or an always online game, I can play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same if it's on PC. Exactly the same thing on NVIDIA or whatever it is, their streaming service. If you own that game on the PC, you can stream it to another device. That's fine. Do that. Brilliant. But you can't go in with a full digital online only service, charge them for games separately, and then after a year of setting up a studio, expect them to have already accomplished so much. We know.
Did they have any exclusives?
There were two studios were creating in the midst of creating some.
But the third party wasn't there also a third party title that was exclusive?
I think they had a couple of third party exclusives, second party
timed
exclusives.
Immortals Phoenix Rising, for instance, was I think a timed exclusive for 1 or 2 months or so.
Yeah,
really?
That's 1 or 2 months. I mean, that's bullshit.
It's just really half-hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And actually, that's what I've always been saying, that Amazon is at least doing better. They have a super cheap entry point, like I think it's like €5 right now, or €6. For Luna, as an entry point. You don't have to buy the games. You get access to the full library for that price. And all you need is a controller. And that's really a price point where I say, okay, when you are scrolling through your Amazon video library and don't know what to watch, and this pops up for like $5 a month, just give it a try. Yeah, this is really something Amazon is doing better than Stadia. They don't have exclusive content either, but it's at least a price point where nobody needs to argue about. Yeah.
Hey, and wasn't it also when it launched that you had to pay like what was it, €100 or 120?
Yeah, like the Founders Pack.
Founders Pack bullshit.
On Stadia.
Really?
Yeah, on Stadia.
I mean, you get a bloody controller, right? I mean,
what I don't quite get is because like Google is one, barring Microsoft, one of the richest companies in the world.
Yeah.
So they should have stuck with it for a year or two and then kind of gone, no, it's not working for us. To not even release a game. They could have seen how their game went, or their two games went. If it's like, you know what, this was a critical flop, let's just bow out now. But you've kind of gone, they've looked at it and gone like, oh, shit a brick, let's just go.
Yeah.
Is it also because, Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft with Xbox are doing so extremely well at the moment that they thought like, okay, man, this is mission impossible. Because let's be honest, 2 studios. I mean, we were complaining a lot when Microsoft had 7 studios and now they have 23. They only had 2 first-party studios. It was only 2 because. So what? We should actually be smarter back then already. Like, okay, what can this bring us? Right, with two bloody studios, that can never be enough.
No.
And now we're finally with Xbox. They have like 23 studios. With all kind of teams doing something, and then we're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, right? So they weren't serious at the first impression. So that's crazy. It's a really weird strategy. But Phil Harrison, everywhere he comes, he leaves a match.
He's like crap gamer.
That's right.
I mean, I was really wondering why does he always get these high executive positions? His track record is not good.
Give me the job and pay me the money. I'd do better.
Yeah.
He's a salesman. He can sell himself. It's like a prostitute, only done better.
Have you seen that the meme going around?
You're a salesman, right, Erwin? You're a salesman.
You don't know which job.
Have you seen the meme of him like saying, "Mission accomplished, well done, 47." Just killing stuff off.
Oh man.
You have to say though, trying to get into any kind of console race or even the gaming sector right now is a nigh on impossible task anyway. You have 3 heavy hitters that have been there for more than 2 decades. Really push.
I wouldn't say it's impossible. I just think you need all your ducks in a row before you properly enter, before you announce, you make sure that what you're offering is going to be appealing. It just seemed that Google were a little bit half-assed about it. It's just like, well, there's a lot of money to be made in gaming. Let's do this. Let's hire Phil. Come on, let's get Phil Harrison. Or in case of, maybe they thought they were hiring Phil Spencer.
Damn it.
Got the wrong Phil.
Guys, we need a Phil. Who is available?
That Phil guy is brilliant. See what he's done with Xbox? All right. It's like somebody messed up.
With Xbox now, finally, Satya Nadella and the console is now part of the board as well, the console division. So in Xbox, the whole belief in console gaming is there finally. So the whole company is behind it. And with Google, this was probably just some side project or side hobby from somebody that said, okay, we have too much money, let's try to do something.
And even Microsoft, it took them like 16 years or something until head of Xbox became part of the board of management, and it really became their own division. So and look at how many units were sold from the original Xbox, the first Xbox.
It wasn't very many.
You wouldn't consider that a success either. That's the thing with gaming. You really need to be there for the long game. People really need to gain trust in that you build a reliable platform before they really invest their money. Or you do it just like I said with Luna. I really think that is a clever approach. You don't have an entry barrier. You just have a small fee. You pay monthly, and when it's gone, and you don't care. But then you don't pull in the hardcore gamers like us. This is not our platform. This is more the casual gamer that just wants to play a game and wants to do it as cheap as possible. But for us hardcore gamers, and we are not probably the ones that make the big numbers. I always say from those 110 million PlayStation 4s that were sold, how many of those are really the hardcore gamers? 10 million, 15 million, something in that ballpark, So it's like 10% or something of your install base are the hardcore gamers. The rest is the casual market.
The rest want to play FIFA and Call of Duty.
But we pull a lot of the casual gamers in. And that's the thing. Because we all talk to our work colleagues, our friends, and tell them about how many times do I get asked, dude, I want to play Call of Duty. What should I buy? Is it this PlayStation 4? What is the PlayStation 4 Pro? What is the 1S? And people ask me that stuff. My uncle just called his nephew. What should he buy? Should he buy an Xbox, a PlayStation? What's the difference? As hardcore gamers are really important for the marketing. And if you want to start a gaming platform, you need to have that hardcore fan base.
I think the important question is, what did you tell him?
Full pony Archie.
The full pony Archie.
Uncle, can you feel the controller? It feels really nice. You can blow it.
It's really good.
Have you tried
Glasses.
But my first answer is always a question back. What kind of games do they want to play? But I end up mostly recommending, to be honest, the Series X, Series S as an entry point with Game Pass, because the value in Game Pass is just something unmatched right now. And the casual gamers, they don't care whether you have a God of War or a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or whatever, or a Hellblade 2 or a WoW or games like that. This is just not what the casuals need. They just want to play cheap a couple of games, and the value in Game Pass is just unmatched.
But you see now off the board, the journalists also write on the internet are saying that after playing 2 months of between Series X or PlayStation 5, more people play now on Series X because of Game Pass also, right? Because the value of that service it's really unmatched. It's
unrivaled,
unrivaled. And if PlayStation ever starts such a service, man, I go full pony.
You can do
that's
both.
That's the thing about hardcore games. You don't have to be just either one. You can just invest. I will say
gender neutral. No,
you can have your preference. I do have my preference as well. Yeah, full pony. I get it.
No.
No, gender neutral, like
Yeah.
from the both sides.
Geslachtlos.
Yeah.
No, I do. I mean, I know Twitter is its own little
World.
thing, yeah. But you always find the most balanced people are people that have both consoles.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
To be
I
fair,
mean, come on.
I mean,
I spent
we say Twitter is its own thing, but I've seen equal amounts of stupidity from Facebook's gaming community as well.
Oh yeah, I mean
they're not
social
too
media,
far off.
maybe
Yeah,
social media rather than Twitter.
Yeah.
Is its own little special breed of specialness.
Yeah.
And I know that people always say, "Oh, it's too expensive to have two consoles or stuff like that." For me, I'm always saying, "Well, I buy a console like every 7 years, yeah, and I invest $500 for the next 7 years. That brings in a machine that brings me hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of enjoyment."
Exactly.
Come on.
Well, that's it. I mean,
the-
recently they had I can't remember which website did it, and it basically had a look from your 360 up until present, like your gaming, everything.
True achievements.
Was it True Achievements?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know whether I'm proud or embarrassed of this, but I've put in over 2 years of gaming since the 360.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah. So I can't remember where I was going with this. Too much wine. And that's just with that. Well, that's not even my life. That's just with Xbox. That's just with 360 onwards. That's not including Commodore 64, Amiga, Atari Jaguar, PlayStation 1, 2, Sega. I've probably wasted about a decade of my life gaming.
But it is as we're all mentioning though, it's what you invest in. It's you spend 500 for 7 years worth of content, or being able to play that content is exactly what you're investing in. It's not like you're just throwing 500 away. Like when you buy that, you expect it to provide you that entertainment for that amount of time.
And the vast majority of people don't buy both consoles day one. They'll buy their preference and then they'll get their Switch or their other console a year or two down the line. You know, that not everybody is like Pony Boxenberger, where they pay up front on the day. Then I'm more than happy to wait 6 months to there.
But the thing is, if you
almost sued the MediaMarkt, eh? So
oh, come on, I'm not talking about MediaMarkt again.
It was almost a class action lawsuit from
Yeah.
Archimedes at one point. Camping out with his sign. Where's my PS5?
You bought the controller already prior to the console, right, Archie, or no?
Pardon me, can you?
Did you bought the controller already prior to the PS5 that you just felt like how it felt, you know?
No, I didn't do that.
He needed to get used to how much air pressure needed to actually go into the controller.
Yes.
He had to practice.
Yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube videos for that. Yeah.
How to get the fan speed up to date.
Oh, no,
Does your download go quicker if you blow into it? Or is it true?
These are all very important questions, Archie.
I think
I'm not sure if I can answer all of them.
I think in the end we were just jealous of you, Archie. So have fun, mate.
You got a PS5, right?
I am. Pardon?
Who?
Dutch also got a PS5.
No,
right?
I had one on pre-order and cancelled my pre-order.
You cancelled it? Oh.
Yeah, I was going to get one, but there really isn't, especially at launch, there was no games that I really wanted to play.
Needed.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I've played Dark Souls, like the Souls games in general aren't my cup of tea, so that was out. Like Demon Souls wasn't anything I wanted. I've got the first Spider-Man, not the remaster, just Spider-Man PS4. Again, played it a little bit, not my thing. So that's not a game. Ratchet and Clank was the only one that would have potentially persuaded me to get a PlayStation 5 earlier, but that's somewhere. And we don't know. I don't know when that's releasing now.
But
This year,
No.
right?
60 frames.
Yeah, well,
Some
they
point.
said in the launch window, but that's typically considered the first 3 to 6 months.
I was going to say we're getting near the end of the launch window.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So my guess is that this will be their fall game this year, because their original plan to have Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West there, that won't happen. This game will slip into 2022.
Yeah. Same with God of War.
Same with God of War, Ragnarok.
I think COVID is
Absolutely.
just going to mess everybody up. The people that like to gloat about not cancellations, about postponements and stuff, it's just like it's not going to really wash anymore, because it's like everything's going to be pushed back unless it's so close to being completed. Then I think most things will be pushed back, even if it's just a month or two.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'll probably. I don't know where I am. I'm going to be by the end of this year. I may even be abroad at this point. But I probably think I'd like to get maybe a God of War PS5 if they do one. But I got to think of luggage and moving, and I do not want to be. I don't know what would be slogging that bad boy. I'm thinking. Well, I've applied to do a PGDE, which is basically the teaching license in the UK. Yeah. So I've applied to 4 universities for teaching primary school and 1 university for teaching secondary history.
In UK?
In the UK, yeah. Oh, in Scotland, to be more specific.
Okay, so you're gonna move in the UK area.
Well, it's either stay where I am or move down to Glasgow. Oh, no. I think... Where was the other place I applied for? Aberdeen?
Right.
I lived in Aberdeen for 6 months.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. Back in 2012. I spent like 8 months. I was in Aberdeen, yeah.
Did you understand everybody?
Actually, it was easier than I thought.
It takes about a couple of weeks to properly get your ear in with the Scottish.
Yeah, but once you've been to a couple of pubs, you get used to it, and it just works.
Yeah, the worst one is probably the Govan Glaswegian. That's like proper Scottish kind of Rabsy Nesbit. It's a little bit.
If we can
hard.
If we can understand you, we can understand everybody, right? I mean,
have you ever seen Rabsy Nesbit?
Oh, Gunstar doesn't understand Dutch. So.
let me put into the chat. Rab C Nesbit. Google this when you have time. Rabsy Nesbit. At the job center, he's just like, and he's just kind of like, oh my goodness, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah, smile and nod. Yeah. No, Scottish is quite easy to understand. It takes a little bit. Anyway, we digress. So yeah, if I don't get accepted to these courses, then I'm looking at maybe China in August, or maybe even Vietnam.
Oh,
so
yeah, that would be quite a slog trying to get a PlayStation 5 over there.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to. Vietnam, I'm kind of leering away from, because I'm not quite sure on.
Have an entirely separate suitcase just for the PlayStation 5.
I'll put it in my carry-on
container.
Shipping container.
But I don't know what Vietnam is for actually playing online. I know that they don't have Xbox Live, but I don't know whether I can still buy digital games there.
Yeah, for sure, you got to move in the country where they have Xbox Live, Sean.
I ain't moving anywhere that doesn't have Xbox Live, or at least access to buying games digitally. That's not happening. No. It's just like no. I mean, I know China. You can at least buy games in China, because I bought. What game did I buy? When I was out there last, I bought. Anyway, I bought a game. I know I bought a game online, and it was fine. I don't know what online gaming is like, but at least I could buy single player games, so I ain't all that bothered.
Yeah.
I have to say to you guys, what tally ho pip pip.
Tally ho pip pip.
What?
Tally ho pip pip.
Tally ho pip pip. Yeah. What is this, like 1700s?
I don't know.
What the fuck is Tally ho?
Tally ho pip pip.
Oh, I do apologise if Stuart is in watching for my Scottish accent. It's like,
Yeah, tally hoes more like let's go forward.
yeah. It's a bit like sacre bleu for for the French. It's like sacred blue. That means absolutely nothing.
Sacred blue.
What? Sacre bleu.
Oh dear me. Anyway,
Moving
as we
on.
digress. Back onto the next topics. Now, these ones kind of, I suppose, kind of go hand in hand with each other. But we're talking about we've kind of briefly touched it at the beginning, but next gen console shortages are kind of rumored, and this is from both AMD, Xbox, and PlayStation, to kind of continue the shortages until at least kind of Q3 2021, which is kind of the second half of 2021. So
Is that June onwards?
June onwards.
Or, yeah. No, May.
Yeah, May onwards, essentially.
Yeah.
May, June. And how do we think this is going to really affect the transition for developers going in? But I think this kind of goes into where the kind of state of the world is at the moment as well, because we know a lot of the games we've been expecting earlier the generation already have been pushed back quite substantially. If not, we don't even have updates on some of them that were meant to be on launch window, and they're being pushed back. So how do we think that the kind of shortages to consoles is going to affect the gaming space at least over the next 12 months?
I think this plays into Microsoft's hands quite well with Game Pass. I think with a lot of game developers that they know that there's not going to be quite the same amount of purchasing because there's not going to be the same amount of people with the consoles, especially if you're moving into next gen only. Whereas something like Game Pass can be a lifesaver for them. I mean, look at the medium that in its sales, in it alone, it's made back its money plus marketing, and then you also have the Game Pass money coming in as well. So I think for a lot of smaller devs, I think Game Pass could be a real viable option. I mean, look at people like Joe with Song of Iron. He's desperate to get onto Game Pass. That would do him an absolute amazing thing.
And we've just seen as well this month the Falconeer is going on to Game Pass as well. So
is that tomorrow?
I do believe if it's not tomorrow, it's definitely within the coming days.
I thought it was the 4th.
So that's again especially for a developer like him, who's another single developer, another single man. Even though he's got obviously Wire Productions kind of helping him with the distribution, etc. As a single developer, putting that game out, it's much easier when you've got Game Pass helping.
It's
the
best marketing you can hope for.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where a lot of people aren't. When I say ignorant, I don't mean it in a negative thing. I mean it in the form as uninformed or just don't really know. But there's more than just money that Microsoft offers. They offer like the marketing, or like I joked in our private chat about something to do with Sony, like MLB coming to Game Pass, and I don't think it will happen, but I think it could possibly happen if Microsoft will say, I tell you what, you're using our Azure servers, we will give you a year's free of that for 6 months of Game Pass day one. You know, they've got more things.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the thing that you get proper direct marketing. I think the bigger effect is the viral marketing that you get for free, simply through people playing the game and talking about it on social media channels. That's just what a game like Song of Iron would never get. How many people would actually know that game existed if it doesn't come into Game Pass? And once it's in Game Pass, we all start playing it. We all will post pictures about it and talk about it. And that's what happens. And this is the actual marketing effect. Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned MLB The Show. I think that game has never gotten more marketing simply because it was a discussion throughout the social media channels. Oh, a PlayStation game is on the Xbox channels. That's best marketing you can get. People
that's it.
talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was never a massive seller for Sony, but it has a very strong niche collection of people. Yeah. that are just huge baseball fans. Now you can get that to Xbox. Is it coming to Switch or PC? I'm assuming it will do.
What's this? The
MLB The Show. I'm assuming it's coming at least to PC.
I'm not sure. It's definitely Xbox. Maybe it's PC. I don't think it would come out to Switch.
Did you saw the tweet or I saw it on Instagram maybe, there was one of the guys on the Aaron Greenberger's team that was smuggling in his PS4 at the office just to play the MLB. And now he said he can just play it on Xbox, right? But I think it's quite, because baseball is huge in the USA. So if they get this on Game Pass, man, that will be gigantic.
I don't think they will, but yeah, sure. I mean, if they could, that would be huge. Could you imagine the salt thrown? If it's like $70 or Game Pass?
Yeah.
Game Pass.
I mean, it's hard to tell with social media just because a lot of people say a lot of things. It's like, well, I'm not paying $70 for MLB, forget it, and they end up doing it. Just don't tell anybody.
Sure.
I still
it's
think
the same with FIFA, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is FIFA $70?
In euros, yes.
Scumbags.
But we buy it each year, except this year, because there was no final edition, so I didn't buy it. But normally I buy FIFA every year.
Oh, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
No, not anymore. Because
Vin? Oh no.
Pro Blue Soccer is now in Game Pass, and they have the Kuip in it. So I went to Pro Blue Soccer from Game Pass, and then I'm good now.
All you Call of Duty, FIFA, ice hockey, whatever it is, NBA. You're all part of the problem.
We don't have that knowledge. Just FIFA.
With your surprise mechanics.
No, the only surprise you get these days is the Ultimate Team packages. They cost more and you get less. That's the only surprise. Yeah. Hey, we're spend more. Hey.
Slightly going off topic, I did see a post on Facebook, on Twitter, about the dangers of the thingy packs. Is that somebody was quite a prominent person. I'll have to see if I can find it. Was talking about how their kid wasn't really bothered about what they actually got. It was the animations of getting a high ranking thing, and that's the problem. That is the problem. Is they weren't addicted to actually getting their Pelés or their Messis or their Ronaldos. It was the animations of getting someone that was high ranked.
It's forbidden now in Holland. The next FIFA you can't buy packages in Ultimate Team anymore. Yeah. It's forbidden now here by law.
It should be. Yeah, I'm guessing it will be in the UK fairly soon. Yeah. No, actually not, because we seem to be a little bit. I think
they're doing an investigation into it, though, aren't they?
In the UK, yeah.
In the UK.
But one of the issues, one of the big gripes about leaving the EU is that we're not protected by the sensibilities of the EU. Erwin, what on earth have you pasted into the... Have you just headbutted the keyboard?
My other thing hit the keyboard, but you didn't saw it. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
You tried. It's okay. It's okay. You tried.
Here you got it, mate. This is the best one. Quite interesting.
How did that end up being that? Excuse you.
So,
more TV.
Who the fuck did farted? But you motherfucker.
Toot, point.
Steve left directly.
It was the dog.
The dog took some peanut butter.
Yeah, me.
That fart.
It's okay.
Who was that?
That was for sure.
You just got blown away.
Oh.
Dear me. And we're going into our last topic here for tonight as well. As I've noticed recently across quite a few games, some of the next generation updates and patches that have come out for some of the older games have been quite lackluster. we tend to get either an increase in frame rate or an unlocked frame rate from the original version, and increased resolutions, but no additional features. So we're not getting any updated assets or textures. We're not getting any updated kind of any additional qualities or ray tracing or any of the new features put into these games. We're literally just getting, okay, the game has been unlocked, as opposed to a locked 30 on the previous gen. It's now unlocked, so the frame rate can go to 60. Do you think these are just rushed patches for some of these games? Maybe they could have just sat on them a little bit and actually put a little bit more work into them, especially some of these studios that might not have a lot of additional content ongoing so far?
I think it depends on the studio. I mean, just before the stream, I was playing Control, and Remedy aren't really known for their optimization. Let's just put it that way. And I've put it into the graphical mode to see the ray tracing and whatnot, and it looks very, very pretty when you stood still. But the second you move your head side to side, it makes you nauseous. And I don't think it's totally the whole I'm used to 60 frames a second. I just think it's bad optimization, and whatever they're using, it's just kind of like everything almost seems like ding, 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 rather than a smooth motion.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on developer. I also think it's partly down to us as well. I mean, I know for me with the Mass Effect, when I saw that, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting more, but that might have been a me thing rather than a them thing. That might have been me expecting almost like next gen graphics or what I perceive or think next gen should be.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at like Dark Souls, Dark Souls, I think that was really well done. When you look at the original to what actually Dark Souls is now on the PS5, I think that's like a true upgrade. Whereas I think I think a lot. I think with there we go. I don't know whether it's just because things are quite new. Like I was reading with a rumor of the KOTOR 1-2 being remastered or remade for the current gen, and that's only really going to be an up-res. So that's still going to be quite clunky when you look back to actually the originals. Just to have that in 4K running at 4K 60 or 4K 120 or whatever, it's still going to look crap. The gameplay is going to be brilliant because the gameplay of it is amazing, but the actual visuals is not going to be that great.
And this is what I'm talking about when I'm mentioning additional higher quality assets and textures. So they're actually beefing up the world around it, not just kind of giving us the same game we had, but then just unlocking res and frame rate.
But I think that's what they're doing with the KOTOR. And if that's true, I'll be disappointed because I think that the potential for that is just, so it doesn't take much. Get flipping, is it Blue Point, is it?
Yeah.
Get them to do it. Flipping, they're amazing at remastering stuff. Okay, if they go to Sony, I'll be a bit gutted because I'd like them to be multiplat. Because they're just they're the masters of what they do. Whereas if it's just a case of file 4K 60, then I'll be annoyed. I will be annoyed. I still play it, but I'll be annoyed.
Yeah. Erwin, what do you think of the should I say the next gen updates that have been kind of lackluster, should we say?
I think it can be quite a mixed bag, right? But I think for the developers, it's just a matter of changing the settings probably on certain games where it's easy to do, right? So time is money in every business. So I think they spend not so much time optimizing unless you have Blue Point really recreating almost the game. So I think they're not optimizing. They just or they have an engine that is already with dynamic res, so it will be updated automatically to a higher resolution at least. I think it's just not so much work, and you still get some nice benefits. And for sure, it's not perfect. But I think like what Steve also said prior to the show, right in the DM is when people watch Digital Foundry, you see really like nitbits of a game where it's running like 98% of the time or 99% it's running at 60 frames, and they highlight some of the game parts where it's not running at 60 frames per second, and then you get a lot of crying and etc. So I think in general, I think it's good, and we made such a big step already. But everybody are spoiled babies, right? And they need to complain about everything always. In general, I think all the updates been quite okay. And if it's free, I mean, we cannot really complain also, right? I mean, yeah.
I think what I said
last
before
generation. Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
I was just going to moan. Don't worry. I was just going to say that I think most of the time is that people can't even see the difference when they look at Digital Foundry. They rely on Digital Foundry to give them ammunition.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's both sides. That's not just Sony or thingy. That I've seen Xbox people do it just as bad as Sony people. They need Digital Foundry to say, well, it dropped 3 frames here, so it's therefore garbage.
Yeah. 3 frames.
I mean, frames are even easier to spot. Pixel counting is even harder to tell.
Like I said in the chat, it's like I get the Battlefield 4 when it was like 720 versus 1080. You can see that. You can see the muddy textures versus clear. Yeah. But when it drops for 0.3 of a second from 60 frames to 55, ain't nobody seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing you've got, I mean, it does boil down to certain games as well, but when you're playing essentially adventure games or anything like that, then additional quality is probably more appreciated over just unlocking frame rates and things like that.
Yeah.
If you're playing a first-person shooter, that's a different story altogether, because, again, like you've seen on PUBG, when it was the OG Xbox versus someone on an Xbox One X, so you could see absolutely miles into the distance on a One X, but on the OG Xbox, you're lucky if you can see a few hundred meters in front of you.
But wasn't there that kind of like a double-edged sword? Because on the One X, you had all the nice foliage and everything, but when you're on the normal base one, they didn't. So you thought you were hiding in a bush, and somebody on a normal Xbox was like, "There's that dude lying there in the middle of the hill. What's he doing?"
Yeah. The bushes didn't render thin.
But they also on PC on purpose, right?
People would lower their settings on purpose
because they cannot hide in bushes. So Emil Perepluk is fucked them, man. Because in bushes.
Yeah, they raised their frames per second to the highest they could possibly do, and then just lower all the settings to everything's like clay.
Yeah.
But Drew, also like PUBG, what we're talking about, they didn't do anything major, right? But man, I am happy already with what we got. For sure, it can be 4040p or maybe even 4K. But if it's already running at a smooth 60 frames per second, man, that's a huge W for gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. It's not a one size fit all for everything. I mean, when you're looking at a Call of Duty or even any first person shooter, frame rate is king. You need that frame rate. I would rather have an 1880 or 1440 or whatever, and at a higher frame rate as I could possibly manage on my TV, than having the ray tracing and particle effects and everything like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing maybe an Uncharted, I'd rather have a really visually stunning game.
Yeah.
At 60.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, completely agree. And again, it all boils down to what you're playing it on. Like, for instance, obviously I can play a Series X or a One X on this monitor that I've got beside us, and it will look not much different. So I don't need, it's only a 1080p monitor, but I don't need 4K on that monitor to see that what I'm doing. It's not a massive screen, but if I was playing a 1080p game on a big 4K screen, that's a different story entirely. You can see the difference.
Yeah.
So I'm just...
But frame rate is then king. And I noticed, for example, with Assetto Corsa, it's not being optimized. But I notice now, because I'm playing a lot of 60 frames per second, I noticed drops now also easier. So when I'm playing Assetto Corsa, I see that it's dropping frames. And when you need to be really precise with in a racing game, with your braking points, your brake markers, etc., cars you need to take care of. I really notice frame drops, and that's really irritating. And I don't have the idea that they're going to update it anytime soon, but the stable 60 frames per second on Assetto Corsa will be a dream for me.
Yeah.
I did hear a couple of people complain about the 120 frames per second on some games because they were like, it's ruined me. Like I'm going back down to 60 and I feel like it's a slideshow. It's just...
Exactly. So the next TV, what I will buy next year or this year actually, when I'm gonna get my bonus in March, I'm gonna buy a TV at least that supports 120 frames per second for sure.
I think the general consensus is you need a LG CX.
LG.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
not even just the CX. I sent it was a couple of months back now. It was before Christmas. I sent through one of the LG models that I had, and that was 3 HDMI 2.1s.
Yep.
With 120 hertz. It had Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, pretty much everything under the sun, and it was like £600.
Yeah, but it's not the OLED version. It's just your normal.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't go wrong with the LG, but of course the LG comes with a price tag. The thing is that the 2021 TV models that will come out in May, June, and July, they will support the HDMI 2.1 features in a almost all price ranges. Yeah. So
they're
really...
dropping the OLED, aren't they? The OLED size.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now available. I think in 48
or 42, something like that. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Because I noticed when I'm upstairs in my gaming room, I'm not so far away from a television, and I have now the 55-inch curved television, so it's a little bit smaller. But if I'm playing Call of Duty, I notice I'm watching like.
I got rid of my 55-inch OLED TV because of that reason. I'm sitting too close to it, and I exchanged it with a 49-inch. Just better.
Yeah, I mean it's a situation. But I mean, I'd probably in a month or two, I'd have enough cash to be able to afford a OLED. But like I said before, if I'm planning on possibly moving abroad, or even if I end up moving cities because of my college course, my university course, it's no point. I ain't dragging a flipping OLED across the country. And just monitor-wise, it's just monitors are too expensive. And can you even get an OLED monitor?
I believe so.
Yes, you can. Very expensive.
But you're paying TV price, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're paying premium.
Even more. I think
more.
So
OLED 4K monitors with like 120 hertz, you're talking like £3,000-4,000.
Yeah, so they can go jump a ship for that. I don't know why. Why is it that much?
Yeah.
You've got less screen space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
less inputs.
I don't think they sell so much. So they need to create a factory line for it, etc. So I think because they don't sell so much, it will cost in the end.
If they had a decent price, they would.
He's got a point.
If they weren't like the price of the house,
the chicken and the egg problem. Yeah,
exactly.
PC muscle race, right? They all have that screens.
Oh yeah, they've all got top of the range, $5,000. No, sorry, that's PlayStation users, not.
Oh, sorry.
If all the NVIDIA 3090, right?
Yeah.
No,
because they've all been robbed as well for flipping Bitcoin. Whatever.
Bitcoin mining.
WandrinDutch is a broker, right? So I bet he gambled on the GameStop business the last days.
Nope. That's already it's already lost 200 points. That's not worth the investment. That was a very quick fix.
Yeah.
Again, right?
If you knew about it before it started,
that
was a good investment. But no.
One of my biggest regrets was when Bitcoin first came out. I do remember thinking, what a load of rubbish. Who's ever going to do that? That's not going to take off. Who would even bother investing in that? Just like, if I'd invested 100 quid, I'd be a millionaire now.
Yeah.
Now, Domino's became rich here. You could order pizzas with pineapple, Arky, for 1 Bitcoin.
No. I saw an article about that. Somebody bought a pizza with their Bitcoin. And it ended up being like 900 grand.
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that in today's thing. If that's how much you spent on it.
Friends of mine did mine like this rigs of all these video cards, mining them, and they ordered pizzas from. So Domino's went like totally up the sky with the amount of money they got for one pizza.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dear me. Dear me.
The things I could tell the younger self.
That's
And it-
for
Bitcoin.
for a lot of things, Steve. Yeah.
Bitcoin, Leicester City to win the Premiership. That was what was the odds on that at the beginning of the season? It was 2,000 to 1. 2,000 to 1 for Leicester to win.
Yeah, but do you know Feyenoord, Steve? That's even worse. We win it once in the 18 years.
But you're playing an easy league. What are you doing?
Well,
Have to get past Ajax first.
You know Mark Diemers? He's terrible. but he's good. He's good with Dick. Dick.
Excuse me. I don't like to judge.
It's terrible, man. This season.
Yeah, he's the coach, but I think Feyenoord is always a fighting club, and you know that it's just a matter of quality, simple. And you know that other team in Amsterdam, where we're not going to mention the name, and also the ones in Eindhoven, sometimes they're just a little bit better, and sometimes.
Well, they have more money.
So what you're basically saying is the Dutch league is basically a pub league.
Well, we call it the Mickey Mouse League here. So.
Well,
it's like Scotland. It's like Celtic. I wonder who's going to win this year. Celtic. And then
it's different. It's a difference from PSV, Feyenoord, AZ sometimes also, and Ajax, right? So there are a couple clubs that are every year up in the running. Not always one team like Bayern München, right? That wins the league like 9 out of 10 seasons.
But Archie, did Stuttgart ever win the Bundesliga?
Yeah, but that's years ago. That was
when he was a
years
kid,
ago.
when he was a child.
No. I was. What was it? 2015 or 16?
Oh, really?
Oh, pardon me. 2005 or 6, not 15.
Oh, yeah.
So
technically,
15 years
I
ago.
should support Mönchengladbach because I was born near Düsseldorf. No, does Düsseldorf have a team?
Yeah, they have, but they are in the second league.
Well, we'll go for Mönchengladbach then. That's near. I was born in a small place called, I think it's a small place, Wegberg.
You're secretly German, Steve?
Yeah, I was born in Germany.
You're German. Oh, I didn't know that.
I was born in Wegberg, yeah.
I always thought the mustache was saying something, but now I know.
No, I'm technically English because it was on a military base. So it's still technically British sovereignty, but yeah, I was born in Germany. I was born in Wegberg. That's what my birth certificate says.
Ach so.
Okay.
Super tall.
Interesting.
Geil.
You see that?
Like
What we are learning today here. Shom is born in Germany. I lived in Scotland. A lot of news here.
Yeah, I really didn't know you lived in Scotland. Scotland's an awesome place. I would, unless
Aberdeen
I'm really forced to, I will not move back to England. I'm all for Scottish independence.
And
Really?
I gotta say, what I really learned is that the Scottish can brew beer, while the English folk they have their difficulties making good beer. So
The Scottish are more for. This is
Oh,
not too far from me.
That's my brother's. That's my brother's game attack.
I've been
on
to
Xbox.
the
Talisker?
Yeah. That's my brother's game attack on Xbox.
Really, Talisker?
Yeah. He's a big fan of. He's been with the tour through Scotland with all the whiskey breweries and stuff and beer stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Robin, you watching?
And Robin.
Yeah, that's my brother. So he's been there. His game attack is also Talisker like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Talisker's awesome. I used to hate it, but I really like it now. It's one of my favourite. Lefroy is my favourite. Lefroy is my favourite.
Balmore is also fantastic.
Bell's taste like piss. Bell's and
Not Bells, Bowmore.
Grouse. Bowmore?
Bowmore. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. BOW more.
I've actually got a whiskey distillery about 300 meters from my house. I should probably try it. I've never actually tried it.
We noticed, Steve.
There we go.
Talisker is not 300 meters from my house. But the problem is, because I live where I live is quite a touristy place. They just jack up the prices for everything.
Hello, Queen. Oh, sorry.
So to get like local stuff, you're paying over the odds. It's not worth the price because you're paying tourist price. I wish in places where I lived and other places that are like touristy, that if you were a resident, you got a card or something to say you were a resident and actually get it at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, we are going so far away from gaming right now. It's just
let's go for alcohol, guys.
we were talking about. I've been drinking quite anyone from Portugal. I've been drinking a Portuguese wine.
Steve, you want some of these?
Hertog.
I can send you some.
What is
That's
that?
Hertog Jan. That's Hertog Jan.
Piss.
Hertog
Piss. Piss.
Hertog Jan. That's the best beer in Holland. Beer.
Shut up, man.
That's an nanny. That's a nanny. That's a nanny.
Mr. Sheffield.
Are you kind of like one of those nationalists that you only drink it because it's from Holland? You just
No. There's also you have La Chouffe from Belgium.
no. The only beer I really love is Erdinger.
It's WandrinDutch, with the leprechaun hat on. It's La Chouffe. It's really good beer. as well.
I have no idea what you just said. No, Erdinger. Erdinger is the bomb.
Yes, it is.
Where's
It is
Erdinger from?
good.
Is it?
It's from Bavaria.
Is it German?
It's German beers from Bavaria. I mean, it's a classic. If you
Bavaria
like
is
that kind of
Dutch,
beer,
right?
we call that Weizen in German. It's a Weizen
This
beer.
beer.
There are a couple of others I could recommend, but this is definitely the most famous one. Yeah.
Bitte ein Beat.
Erdinger is brilliant. So is the German language. The German language is quite good. It always sounds like you're really angry. Even if you were to say to your wife that, sweetheart, I absolutely adore you. You are my world. It's like, I shove my country under the
Achtung!
Yeah, it sounds really quite aggressive. But I really
Very
like
aggressive.
Fun fact, my mother speaks a rather good German. But she did live there. So anyway, we are moving so far away from gaming.
You gotta put a stop to this.
Speaking of which,
Tell I've had a bottle of wine, can't you?
We're going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you everybody for standing by on our first one back after the Christmas break. It's awesome to have you all again in chat. And obviously those that were a little bit late to the party this evening, including ourselves, you can watch it all back afterwards. It will be available to play afterwards again. But we'll go through one by one to just do our outros and where you can find everybody and where you can what they're going to be up to. So first and foremost, we'll go with our guest for this week, which was Hertog Vin. So thanks for coming on the show, Vin.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. It was awesome.
No problem, buddy. No problem. If you can let everybody know where they can find you and what games you're going to be playing over the next couple of weeks.
You can find me on Twitter, Hertog Vin X, Hertog Vin X.
Yeah.
I started streaming lately with Sea of Thieves with Erwin and Emil, and maybe do a bit more of that on Twitch. Also Hertog Vin X.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start after this show, of course. I'm my OnlyFans page. For €5, you can watch me naked.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight.
No, that's about it. I think.
Hard times,
you can find me on Xbox on the same name here. Or find me when I'm playing with Patrick or Erwin or whosoever.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, man.
Awesome stuff. It's nice to have you by, brother. It's obviously always good to see
thank you for
chat,
having
but
me,
it was good
man.
to have you on the
It was
show.
awesome.
No problem. I'll have to do it again. Have to get you on again. Next, go on, brother.
If I'm available, I told Erwin and Patrick, because I work 24/7 shifts, 365 days a year. So if you want me, if I'm off, I'm happy to join. So if you want me, I'll be there.
No problem, bro. No problem. I'll be
The
happy to have you.
Germans, sometimes Germans demand my,
Oh, Vin, I downloaded that bank robbery game, whatever it's called, that you were
Payday.
playing the other day. Yeah. So I saw you playing that, so I downloaded it.
Yeah, I play the Game Pass quest a lot, so it was a Game Pass quest. But,
Fair enough. But yeah, I've downloaded that if you want to give that a go.
Yeah, I can play it again if you want. I'm always happy to join guys like you. I play a lot with Patrick and Erwin, so I watch you guys on the streams.
Always good fun.
Yeah, man.
But like Archimedes, he needs my iron ore and coals from my work, so I have to go to the German company, right? So.
Indeed.
Archimedes, if you let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up, any videos, and what games you're playing.
Yeah, well, you can find me basically everywhere at Boxenberger, Twitter, PlayStation Now, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and of course here on YouTube. I've always got content coming up. I just uploaded a video about the latest Halo news the other day. And yeah, I'm already thinking about the next video. And on Twitter, of course, you can always hit me up for gaming discussions.
Awesome stuff. Shomberlon, if you let people know where they can find you and what you're going to be playing this week.
You can normally find me less drunk on Xbox, Shomberlon, and on Twitter. It's been a hard week. It's been a hard lockdown, should I say? So yeah, you can find me on Shomberlon. I'm up for most co-op games.
And your Twitch, man.
You know I am. You join my stream.
Yeah, I love your streams, man. Promote it. Come on.
Oh, I tell you what, the flipping playing Medium on stream was not a good idea. I was bricking it a lot of the time. I'm telling you that bit, like when I said with the bathroom scene. Yeah. I was literally just kind of looked at the camera and went, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
I think I just followed through. It happens sometimes. But you can find me on Twitch, the same place. I'm thinking of doing. Well, no, I've bought the games. I just need to actually sit down and have time to do it. Is the original Splinter Cell trilogy?
You just forgot the L in your name here.
Say what again?
You forgot the L in your name.
The L?
Shomberlon.
Shomberlon.
So, what I was saying... It's here. If you're having trouble understanding me, it's around about this area. So I'm hoping to do the original Splinter Cell trilogy because I really enjoyed doing. Well, I'm all about the Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm planning on doing that at some point. I've just started playing what is it? Control, is it? Yeah, Control.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to bother streaming that. I think I'm just going to play that on my own. But yeah, if you see me, I'll be up for. If you see me online, I'll be up for most co-op games.
Awesome stuff. Patcher, if you can let people know where they can find you and what you're going to be playing over the next week or so.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, of course. Name right here, what you see here. Also on Xbox, it's the same name, and Twitch as well. I'm streaming. What?
Hakkaboy.
No Hakkaboy. No, but I stream lately a lot of time. So hop on, stop by for the stream, and let's have some fun, man.
We need more people with Ghost Recon.
Oh yeah, Forza Erwin can come, and this guy can also come. So we have a full squad then.
Yeah, perfect.
How many people you can play the game with then?
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do that, man. And yeah, like I said,
Bit more of the
streaming a
medium.
lot, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna play some medium.
How far through are you?
I'm still stuck at the clock thing, you know. Need to get the with the closet.
Do you know how to use out of body technique?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you've done the clock where the door opens,
Oh
then
yeah.
then use the out of body to only control the one in the
spirit world.
In the spirit world,
yeah.
And then you can walk through.
I think I'm going to mute you guys now. No spoilers
so
here.
Basically, what happens in the medium, it's all about.
I need to start the game, damn it.
It starts with one dead girl.
So yeah, that's about it, guys. So we need to team up for sure, guys. So
yeah, we'll get some game night sorted. Definitely.
If I'm off, I'm always available, but you know.
We need to do another PUBG night.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No problem.
I see that Roxy and Pink Ninja are in the.
Oh
chat.
yeah.
A fleet.
The Fleety clan.
Yes.
Fleety clan, yeah.
The Fleety clan are there. Awesome stuff. And last but not least, we have Forza Erwin. If you let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you're going to be up to.
Yes. So first of all, thanks to the chat, everybody in the chat tonight. Seeing all those persons back where we left off was really nice. That they tune in again. Hertog Vin, man, was really good seeing you. I think we had a good show. I hear Franny Fine again on the back.
Mr. Sheffield.
The nanny, you know the show The Nanny back in the day. Oh man, it was really fun. But no, I'm gonna play some Assetto Corsa. I'm streaming more and more lately on Twitch, so people can find me on Twitch with Forza Erwin as well. I have a new camera, so that's good.
Erwin, here she comes.
Erwin kind of has that effect on people.
Especially on the ladies.
This is age.
On the ladies, yeah.
And yeah, like we said, we need to go on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Still want to continue Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I want to finish that before I start the medium because or else I'm playing too much game at the same time.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that.
Message you the spoilers. I'm going to tell you about a story and go, by the way, that's the medium.
And so I'm gonna do that probably, but I think more and more Assetto Corsa because I really like the feel on my wheel with that game, and I want to be more competitive. So I'm going to maybe see if I can join a Dutch competition as well. So let's see on that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it again, guys. So really nice seeing you all in good health, and hope to see you guys all next week.
Yep, awesome. Thank you everybody for turning up again.
Nice.
And again, if you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share this out. Even if you haven't had a chance to watch it all tonight, of course, go back
You can
and
buy
watch it
gear.
from the start.
You can buy gear. Look.
Yes.
You can buy the gear.
Whoa, hold on. What about you, Dutch? Where can we find you? What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Yes. You can
You
find
always
me
skip
as
over that. You
usual.
also go
Always
straight
skip
into
over
the-
myself.
Yeah,
over
you do.
myself. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter, WandrinDutch, YouTube, WandrinDutch, as always, where you're watching us now, unless you're watching on Twitch, in which case, again, we're WandrinDutch. Essentially everywhere WandrinDutch other than PlayStation, which is just my last name, which is GoesseN, GoesseN, GoesseN. So yes. Other than that, yes, you can find me there. Again, I'll probably be, I don't know, I'm going to be making a video for the channel shortly. Obviously, Patreons will get that first. As you know, Vin gets to watch those episodes usually the day before, 2 days before. So, yeah, other than that, you can find me on here. Or I will be playing, I've just finished the medium. I've also, other 2 games I've just finished was Valhalla and Cyberpunk on first playthroughs. So I'm debating what to play next. I think I'm going to finish off doing the Call of the Sea. I was midway through that.
Yeah.
Haven't played that through yet, so I'm going to finish that because I don't think I've got too much longer left on that game, and then debate what I really want to play. He's back again. But yes, if you've enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share this out. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again next time. Thanks everyone again for stopping by. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
See you later, guys.
Yeah.